Okay, so I'm going to shoot under 13s game today. Got all my gear, my high vis, camera in the bag, tripod, and my little seat. And basically, some of the tips that I mentioned last week I'm going to put into practice. So obviously the first main thing was obviously getting down low. There we go. And now, basically, see me here. Now, this is what you're going to get when shooting standing up. I did do a little shoot with my son's team. Then new kit arrived with my sponsorship on the shirt, and I purposely got him to stand up, took a photo of him while I was standing up, and then took a photo down low as well. And I think most of you would agree that the one where I'm getting down low does look a lot better, more aesthetically pleasing, and this is why you should get down low. And this is mostly the positions you're going to see me in when out shooting. I will have my stool if it's that sort of wet weather, or I'll have like a mat I'll sit on. Now sometimes to get really, really low, I get my camera right on the floor with the screen flipped out. It is difficult to sort of follow some of the action because it is so bright that you can't see much on the screen. So on the safe side, let's see, I have to lean forward like this. I might look like an idiot, but like I can see. You can see the action, what's happening through the viewfinder. You're just waiting for that golden moment or the attack to come down here. Obviously that doesn't always happen, so I might have to move up a little bit to get more of the action, because a lot of the action at the moment is sort of in the middle. So when you have a 70-200, you can only get so much in terms of distance.
Unlucky! Unlucky! Stay with him! Stay with him! Well done, Jack!
There we go. Some nice close footage here. Oh, what a challenge. Still at the ball. Oh, look at that. And then one of the other tips was basically cropping tightly or just filling the whole frame. I managed to fill the frame a few times on the shoot, but the majority of the time I did have to obviously crop. Now I did demo at the start of the video where I had the camera like pretty much on the floor. It was shooting in portrait or landscape. Either way, whatever's there, try and fill that frame. And if you can't, then make sure you crop tight in post. And here's a few examples of me doing just that. The combination of shooting down low, cropping tightly, and nailing that shutter speed, you should get some tremendous results on any budget. Now I tried to film and capture the screen, the flip out screen, to show you like some of the shutter speed settings, but it was so bright out there. My phone kept coming in and out of focus, so it was really difficult to capture that. But what I'm going to do quickly now is switch to my phone and record in here. I'm just going to wave my hand around and stuff, just to give you an idea of the shutter speed. So we're in photo mode at the moment. At the moment, we're a 1/125 shutter speed, which isn't the fastest. Aperture is f2.8 and ISO is 320. We're just going to assume that your camera is in automatic for aperture and ISO. But what you'll see here anyway, you should see. Oh, my camera's going to sleep. Okay, so I'm going to crank the shutter speed up to 2000. That's what I was shooting at mainly. And now you've noticed it's got a lot darker here. That's because obviously we're not outside. So this is where your camera will automatically kick in and boost your ISO. So let's boost the ISO as if it's doing automatically. And what should I stop on? 6400 ISO, or ISO. And what that will do, obviously it'll brighten your image, but it'll also introduce a little bit of noise. But with today's technology and AI, the denoise function is pretty good on most applications and software. So that's what I was shooting at. 1/2000, f2.8. It wasn't that because it was really bright outside. So the sun was dealing with my ISO in effect. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna wave my hand like that, and I'm gonna keep my finger on the shutter button. Right. Look, you see that, look? There's no blur. And I was waving my hand quite frantically there. So that is what 1/2000 shutter speed does. It freezes everything. Let's drop it down to 1100. If it's really dark inside, or if it's getting dark outside, you want to drop the shutter speed. So now let's bring the ISO down to 3200, that looks okay. So your camera will automatically be bringing your ISO down. 1/1000, let's do the same again. Should get pretty much similar results. Yeah, look, there's no real motion blur there. It looks pretty solid, doesn't it? Yeah. So you can see in action there, 1/2000 and 1/1000 was freezing my action pretty well. Now let's go down to 1/500. And again, as you're reducing the speed of the shutter speed, you're going to let more light into the camera. So the camera then obviously going to adjust your ISO settings, bring that down to say 1600, that looks fine. So now we're at 1/500 and we're going to do the same again. Now if you see, look, now you can start to see a little bit of motion blur, look, between the fingers, you see that? You can see there's a bit of blur now entering there. Now if we go back down to 1/125 like I was earlier, that's all right. 1/125, and again ISO, your camera will automatically adjust this and say, oh, that's a bit too bright. Let's bring that down to, let's say, ISO 400 or something. So now 1/125. Now this is probably going to look a bit of a blurry mess. Here we go. You see that? Look, my fingers. So there we go. So in sports, or sort of sports with maybe, I don't know, kids or something, I go 1/800. I don't go any lower than that really. 1/800. And again, your camera will kick in and say, hold on, your camera or image is too dark. Let's automatically brighten up. Say ISO 2000. This is the absolute lowest, 1/800. Here we go. I think there's a little bit of blur, isn't there? I can't see that well from here. Yeah, so 1/800 will be my absolute lowest. And I think looking from here onto the little flip out screen, it looks as if a couple of images might have had a little bit of motion blur. But with the young youth and the kids and like the toddlers don't move as fast, 1/800 should be just fine. So yeah, that is it. I hope that video has been helpful, especially with the shutter speed settings and stuff. I think I've shown a few good examples. Obviously out on the field, it's too bright to even capture the screen. So thank you all very much for watching. Pop any comments that you may have down in the comments down below, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.